Dear Doc, I have an ethical dilemma that has plagued me for years but has recently become acute. 10 years ago, I adopted a cute kitten, and now I own a cat I hate. Over the years, she has proven to be unbearably needy, a trait I find repellent. Her faults are myriad. A screaming meow that awakens me in the early hours of the morning. An apparent inability to learn the basics of litter box usage or basic grooming. A tendency to drool when receiving her scant portion of affection, as well as arthritis and dandruff. I know these things aren't her fault, but they do make me avoid and neglect her. And now that I have a baby on the way, I have even less patience for her. Doc, can you offer me advice or perhaps absolution? Signed, Pregnant Woman with Cat. Dear Preggers, I'll get right to the point. Do you live near a river? Do you own a burlap sack? If the answers are yes, the solution is right in front of you. If not, I assume you can drive. Ever play softball? If the answer is yes, take your cat for a little ride on the open highway late at night. Get up to about 55 miles an hour, roll down the window, and release the pitch. Throwing a cat out of a car window is much like throwing a softball, with one small exception. The softball doesn't scream when you throw it. Don't worry about the cat. No matter how they are dropped or thrown, cats always land on their feet. Believe you me, I've done enough of my own research to know this is true. As an aside, what I found most disturbing about your letter wasn't the cat, but your complaints. She is needy. Her screaming in the early morning hours wakes you up. Her inability to learn the basics of litter box usage or basic grooming, and the tendency to drool. These traits have caused you to hate and neglect your cat, and now you have a baby on the way? I hate to tell you this, but this baby is going to be like a big hairless cat on steroids. So to avoid answering your next letter, how do I get rid of a needy baby? I'll simply give you the answer right now. Get an abortion as soon as possible. And then stick with houseplants or goldfish until you grow the fuck up. This is Doc Sterno with wise advice.
Doc Sterno is not an actual medical doctor. He has no degree in psychology or psychiatry. He simply gives advice because he can.
Dear Doc, I'm a youngish guy who dates frequently, and I've come to discover something disturbing over the course of my last several dates. Namely, that I'm too weird for all the normal women I meet, and too normal for all the weird women I meet. What on earth do I do? Signed, In the Middle. Dear Middle, I'll tell you what you do. You become very bitter and die alone. Have a nice life. Dear Doc, I have a political dilemma. I've been a staunch Republican for decades, but the Fred Thompson candidacy has me in a quandary. In his favor, he's a people person and a conservative. He's the tallest Republican in the race, standing 6 foot 6 inches, and has a great set of pipes. The guy looks and sounds presidential. But Thompson also seems to lack the interest, energy, will, ability, and stamina to compete. He's also a Protestant with cancer. I know 18 out of 21 ex-wives of Rudy Giuliani plan to vote for Fred Thompson, but I don't know if I should too. Can you offer me some political advice? Signed, Mikey the Republican. Dear Mikey, I had a dream about Fred Thompson. In it, I was at a grocery store. I was going from aisle to aisle looking for packaged bologna, but I couldn't seem to find the meat section. Soon I approached this older man who was wearing one of those dark blue employee aprons over his white shirt. When he turned and asked if he could help me find anything, I realized it was Fred Thompson. I'm not sure if he actually worked at the grocery store or if he was simply trying to fit in. I asked him where I could find the packaged meats, and he said he wasn't sure. So I continued my search alone. I was a few aisles down, still looking, when Fred Thompson came running towards me yelling, "I found exactly what you're looking for." With a big grin on his face, he handed me a package of pre-sliced bologna. He had thoughtfully brought a package of pimento loaf with him as well, in case, as he put it, I wanted other options. Then I woke up. I'm not sure what this dream means. I don't even like bologna. And I'm not too fond of Fred Thompson's politics for that matter. So I figure it can be interpreted one of two ways. You know how a lot of the presidential candidates like to use the YouTube to get their message out? Maybe Thompson has tapped into the dream tube instead, so he can reach the voters when they're most vulnerable, while asleep. Kinda like in that movie Dreamscape, except without the assassination plot or a young Dennis Quaid. Or maybe it was one of those allegorical psychic premonition type dreams that will someday come true. Fred Thompson will be elected the next president of the United States and will then sell us all bologna. Or pimento loaf, if we prefer other options. This is Doc Sterno with wise advice. Dear Doc, my wonderful daughter will be 17 this fall. She is a good student and a gifted athlete. She is a beautiful girl, although in her words, not a Barbie doll type or a girly girl. She loves makeup and jewelry and enjoys the admiring stares she receives from boys. She also seems to think she is bi. We have talked about this, but I'm confused about the subject. The big question is, should I allow her to have girls sleep over if I suspect that she is attracted to one of them? I am a 53-year-old woman with a fairly open mind, but this is a little over my head. Signed, Confused Mother. Dear Mom, your letter is so hot. The experts agree fooling around is now definitely a happening thing with girls, bordering on a fad. And it seems to go beyond what we used to call experimenting. I can't say I disagree, and I've never been one to knock a fad, so I'm not about to start now. Especially if that fad involves two naked chicks getting it on. Lord knows, this world would be a better place if we only had more fads like that. But if you're not sure if it's even happening behind your daughter's closed bedroom door, before you say anything to her, I'd make the following suggestion. Hide a video camera in the room the next time there's a sleepover. Then you'll have some proof. Did I mention how hot I thought your letter was? Well, I'd give you some more advice, but something just popped up that I really have to take care of. Since you're a 53-year-old woman with a fairly open mind, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. This is Doc Sterno with Wise Advice. Blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute, shouldn't we be shooting this with the thing over the camera? Dear Doc, because we live in Florida, we entertain lots of guests. We love our friends and family, but feeding and housing people strains our modest budget. People usually bring a gift, but we would like to ask them to contribute, say, towards utilities. Do you have any advice for us? Signed, Strained in Florida. Dear Strained, first of all, stop being a dumbass. Ooh, that's better. Secondly, there's these places your friends can stay. Maybe you've heard of them. They're called motels. Yeah, you might want to look into that. Motels. Or simply move to Iowa. Nobody will want to visit you there. Well, not unless they're running for president. But now that I know you're pushovers who like to entertain, I can give you more advice when I vacation at your house. I eat like a horse and love wasting electricity for no good reason. Other than that, I'm a great house guest. Because I always bring a gift, as long as it doesn't cost more than $5. This is Doc Sterno saying, stay wise. Stay wise? That's the catchphrase? Which one of the writers came up with this?
None of them. The writers were on strike. The lighting guy wrote it. You want to try the one the gaffer suggested instead?
This is Doc Sterno saying, from my mouth to yours, try not to suck so badly. It's not a catchphrase. It's like something you'd say on a date with an inexperienced girl. People, we need a catchphrase. Email us your favorite catchphrase to doc@docsternowiseadvice.com. Please.
Doc Sterno is not an actual medical doctor. He has no degree in psychology or psychiatry. He simply gives advice because he can.
I'm Doc Sterno, blah, 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 blah. Dear Doc, there are times when I have feelings of intense fear. I am agoraphobic, claustrophobic, and dipsophobic. At times my body clenches up, I have to struggle not to scream. Sometimes it's so bad I can't stand or walk. What's wrong and how can I fix it? Signed, Fearful. Dipsophobic? What the hell is that?
A fear of drinking.
Holy crap! Hey, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Some crippled up U.S. president once said that. He might have been onto something. The secret to overcoming your fears is by facing them. Now, I wouldn't recommend getting drunk, going out back, and having some friends bury you alive. That would probably kill you. But you gotta face the fear. Me? I've had a fear of chihuahuas and of mimes. But I recently faced my fear of chihuahuas by attending the annual Chihuahua races in Miami, Arizona. I could tell you about it, but I think this music video will explain it better than I ever could. Can we roll the film?
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Don't fear the chihuahua. Don't fear the chihuahua. Don't fear the chihuahua. Don't fear the chihuahua.
Fear over. Just the other day, I was walking down the street when this chihuahua ran up to me and started yapping. I kicked it out from under a good 10 feet. It isn't important that I kicked the dog. What's important is that I did it without fear. Oh, me! Dear Doc, I'm married to a beautiful woman who is obsessed with her butt. She has a figure that flares a bit, but she's not heavy. I think her mother hammered in the idea that her derriere is too big. I think my wife looks sexy, but she starves herself and says she needs liposuction. How can I make her see herself as I see her? Signed, Frazzled Hubby. Dear Frazzled, how can you make her see herself as you do? Anal sex. Lots and lots of anal sex. So much so that she'll know just how beautiful she is every time she sits down on that fat ass of hers. Dear Doc, with the recent mysterious death of actor Brad Renfro, followed closely by the apparent drug overdose of actor Heath Ledger, my friends and I are wondering who will be the next Hollywood bad boy to croak, since these things always happen in threes. We've started a death pool, but I don't know which actor to pick. Do you have any advice? Signed, Starstruck. Dear Starstruck, here are my choices. Take your pick. Really, any of them will do. Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone, smoking weed, popping Xanax and sleeping pills. Oops. Edward Furlong, I'm drunk, I'm freeing the lobsters, hasta la vista, baby. Haley Joel Osment, another weed head. The next dead person he sees could be himself. Casey Affleck, clean cut, but if he watches the last few movies his brother made, he might die of embarrassment. Not Corey Feldman. Need I say more? Daniel Baldwin. Old, fat, cocaine, not Alec Baldwin. Who'd blame him? Britney Spears. Technically neither boy nor actor, but crazy as fuck. Animal. Once admitted to snorting the ashes of Jim Henson. Known to smoke Fraggle Rock. It's just a matter of time. I can tell you who it's not going to be. It's not going to be Doc Sterno, because I get high on wise advice. Wise advice. The anti-drug.
Just ask her. You want to hit? If you never told her, how will she know what to do?
Dear Doc, I see a lot of people wishing for answers to life's problems, and you make their wish come true by giving them wise advice. So my question is this: what do you wish for? Signed, Wish I Knew. I wish I could forget. I wish unicorns were real. I also wish I had a hunting license. I wish him luck. He's sure gonna need it. I wish I could fly like Superman, but I'd settle for the X-ray vision. I wish art museums would make a special pass for people who only want to look at one or two paintings. I wish people would stop being obsessive. I've been wishing for this one a lot. I wish when I wished upon a star, it made no difference who I are. I wish you would. I wish tricks weren't only for kids. I wish I could, I wish I could, I wish I could. But then, I'm no little engine. I wish for world peace, or a year's supply of free groceries. One or the other, I'm not too picky. I wish you were here. And did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? And did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage? In that case, I'm kind of glad you're not here. I'm so disappointed in you, and for that matter, so is Roger Waters. I wish I were more careful about what I wished for. I wish I'd known this when I started. This is Doc Sterno with wise advice.
Doc, we finally got a letter.
I'm on vacation.
Vacation? Vacation's over, man. We finally got a letter.
Dear Doc, I have known this man I'll call Bob for 7 years, but I feel like I really don't know him at all. I've asked many people this question, but no one can give me an answer. Why would a man always answer a question with a question? Signed, no answers. Dear Answers, as Bobby Kennedy once said, don't ask why, ask why not. And then he got shot for his troubles. Why? Because he changed up the question, and change is all well and good, until somebody gets shot. Now Ted Kennedy, he never asked why not, and he never had much trouble either. Well, not until that brain tumor. But you get my point, right? Isn't it sometimes better not to know? And why is he still sticking around after 7 years of constant badgering and interrogation? Why can't you just lay off? Why are you asking me? Why not ask him? And why, when I tap my right knee with my right hand, do I feel the overwhelming need to do the exact same thing on the left side? Why am I dying inside? Why is it if he gave you straight answers to all your questions, chances are you'd run like hell? Why does the caged bird sing? Why does God hate the Jews? Why does it hurt when I pee? And why does it take so many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Why are we here?
Why not?
You heard it straight from the horse's mouth, folks.
Dear Doc, my wife and I have a loving marriage. We have been through more than our share of hard times. One problem that keeps coming up in our relationship is her 8-year-old son. He is extremely jealous of any attention his mother gets and inappropriate around her. He touches her breasts and her behind, and constantly tries to invade her space if she's showering or changing clothes. He also walks nude into the room where she is and touches himself in front of her. I've been trying to tell her these are unnatural behaviors, but she says Mike is just more in touch than his contemporaries and doesn't hide his curiosity. Who is right? Signed, Freaked Out Stepfather. Dear Freaked, you have every reason to be concerned. I'd be freaked out too if my 8-year-old stepson was getting more action than I was. Here's what you gotta do. Sit his punk ass down and tell him the facts of life. And I ain't talking the birds and bees or rainbows and unicorns here. You're right, so go into your little talk knowing just that. Get out of the house, just the two of you. Maybe buy him an ice cream cone, so the bitter pill you're about to deliver will be easier to swallow. And then lay it all out for Mike. Mommy's boobs are off limits. His right to suckle on the nip ended at age 5. So hands off. You wear the pants in the family, not him or your wife, even if by default. Touching yourself should always be done in private, with a certain amount of shame, just the way God intended. Showering is done alone. Changing clothes is done alone. And mommy's ass isn't a free-for-all unless it involves some sort of backdoor shenanigans. To drive your point home, explain castration to him, but do it in a way even an 8-year-old can understand. And then make it your business to help him become friends with some of the neighborhood kids. Obviously, Mike is cooped up in the house way too much. Maybe there's a nice 10-year-old girl who's developed early, living down the block. The kid seems like a breast man in the making, so that alone might help him forget his troubles at home. End your little talk with a bit of philosophy even a child can understand. Bros before hoes. This is Doc Sterno with wise advice. Dear Doc, I am very, very depressed. I can't even get out of bed on many days. I lack drive and energy. It took me hours just to write this letter. Please help. I am drowning in my own pain. I plan to kill myself if you don't write back soon. Signed, Drowning in My Own Pain. This might be serious. Car keys. Grab the camera, I'm driving.
Where are we going?
On a Doc Sterno house call. Why are you driving?
You don't know how to drive, so don't even try.
Oh, what? You're gonna give me advice? You know who I am? I'm Doc Sterno, wise advice. And you're gonna give me advice. Well, let me give you a piece of advice. I'm Doc fucking Sterno, bitch.
Yo, Mises! Here we go again.
Come on.
What? Who are you? How did you get in my house?
I'm Doc Sterno. I broke in. I got your letter. I'm here to help.
You want to help? And tell me why the 837 letters I wrote in the last year to Dr. Phil went unanswered. I'll tell you why. Because Dr. Phil doesn't care. Nobody cares.
I care, my pathetic little friend. I care a lot.
Things suck. What am I going to do?
I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna pull yourself up by your bootstraps and stop dicking around in bed. It's country first, for a change you can believe in.
What the fuck? What does that even mean?
It means quit acting like a crybaby and man up. Let's go. This episode isn't about depression or suicide. It's about taking your own life into your own hands. Until next time, take care of business. Doc Sterno out. Put your belly aching. Dear Doc, I am 8 years old. Some of my little friends say there is no Santa Claus. Papa says, if you see it on Doc Sterno-wise advice, it's so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus? Signed, Virginia O'Hanlon. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. I'd very much like to tell you that, but I can't. It's just no longer true. Santa Claus is dead. He was killed by rampant consumerism and corporate greed. Now you might be asking, who killed Santa Claus? And I'll tell you, if you want to blame someone for the jolly elf's demise, I can name his killer. Your parents, Virginia, first and foremost, blame them. However, they didn't act alone. Millions of people worldwide aided and abetted each other. They're all at fault. But in the end, the result is the same. Santa Claus is as dead as Thanksgiving's turkey. No more will his cheeks be rosy, nor will his droll little mouth draw up like a bow ever again. No longer will his little round belly shake like a bowl full of jelly. We just have to be grateful that, unlike that turkey, nobody actually ate the corpse of Santa. Thankfully, forensics turned up no sign of cannibalism at the scene of the crime. And sadly, now that the corpse of Santa has been stolen from the morgue, I imagine it's only a matter of time before his cold, lifeless body turns up for sale to the highest bidder on eBay. For far too many, that in itself would embody the modern-day spirit of Christmas. That said, Virginia, you might be comforted to know that the true spirit of Christmas still lives on in a few people. Many are wide-eyed, innocent children such as yourself. Others are grown-ups who still have the often lost ability to look at life with childlike wonderment. Virginia, I want you to know I will do my best to spread the Christmas spirit by doing what I do every year. As I do every year, last year I handed out a small handful of $20 bills. Then a few days later, out of curiosity, I went back out to see what my gift was used for. I talked to the people I'd seen previously, or at least their friends or family if I couldn't find them again. Here are their stories, which might bring you some small comfort and hope, Virginia, during this season. First, there was Danny. He was huddled at the mouth of an alley, bent over and shaking. Even though it was a crisp December morning, he was sweating profusely. He asked me for spare change. I gave him a 20. As if transformed, he sprang to his feet, saying, I have to make a call. While at a nearby payphone waiting for a callback, he vomited repeatedly. But he was smiling, for he now had that Christmas cheer. The next day, his body was found in the same alley, the needle still stuck in his arm. Yes, it was a blue Christmas, and so was he. Then there was Portia, standing on a street corner late at night. Dressed in a short skirt and halter top, she wore way too much makeup and jewelry. When I approached, she asked me if I wanted a date for the holidays. I told her no and gave her the gift. She spent the rest of that night in a nearby motel in a warm bed, alone. For the first time in many years, she could spend Christmas sitting by the tree, instead of on her back under it. Then there was Marissa, a young woman towing 3 small kids with her. She looked worried, for she was a single mom who didn't know how she'd explain to her little ones that Santa wouldn't be coming that year. Not only did I give her a 20, but $10 for each child, too. On Christmas Day, not only did each kid find a small present waiting, but there was a modest dinner served in their home. Good times, good times. It almost gives one a warm, fuzzy feeling deep down inside. Finally, there was Christopher, definitely the worst off of the lot. Living in the park by the public library, he was a real mess. His ill-fitting clothes were filthy, his large belly stuck out from under the too small t-shirt he wore, and he had no shoes. Dead leaves and the remains of his last meal littered his beard. His breath was heavy with alcohol. Before giving him any money, I asked, How did you become homeless? His answer was mostly incoherent, but there was one phrase he repeated over and over. It happened when everybody stopped believing in me. I don't know what became of him, nor what he did with the gift, because I never saw him again. Maybe he moved on, as the homeless sometimes do, and is living on the streets of another city. Maybe even your city, Virginia. Many years ago, in response to another little girl's letter, a wise man wrote, "There is a veil covering the unseen world, which not the strongest man, nor even the united strength of all the strongest men that ever lived could tear apart. Only faith, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and view and picture the supernal beauty and glory beyond." It could be said the same is true of the Christmas spirit, but like that spirit, these things have been lost in our busy workaday world. Now people have faith in the almighty dollar. The poets are dead. Love is a noble notion that many aspire to find but can't because of fear. And so it goes. We can't push aside the curtain and view the unseen world because we're too blind to even see the real world before us. Sorry to be such a downer, Virginia. At least your eyes are still wide open, able to see the wonders before you, and I hope they will remain so, now and forever. So Merry Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Boxing Day or whatever, and Happy New Year. And to all a good night from Doc Sterno, Wise Advice.